Welcome to Inside Lake Forest Extra. I'm Eileen Luby, your host, and today I'm at the 107th Western Amateur Championship here in Lake Forest at Conway Farms Golf Course.
I'm learning to fly around the clouds, but what goes up must come down. I'm learning to fly. I'm learning to fly.
Todd, thank you so much for having us here today.
Welcome, thanks.
It's really been a pleasure to come out and have this opportunity to maybe meet some of the officials and the members and the players here at this tournament. Tell me what it takes on your end as clubhouse manager to really put something like this on.
Well, it starts about 8 months to a year ago. We formed about 10 committees and had a committee of about 20 members here at the club that really were fantastic in helping us kind of guide the process. And the fact that we've held 4 or 5 past national kind of junior amateur championships, we had a kind of a playbook or a guidebook that allowed us to really, lay out the foundation to try to make, we kind of changed the way the NCAA golf championships were run. We changed the way the U.S. Junior was run in 1998. Then it was our goal to change kind of the Big Ten championship to make it more of a professional feel, like a championship. And that was certainly our goal for the Western Am Championship. Being back in Chicago the first time in 52 years, it was our goal to make sure that the players had a spectacular week and enjoyed the hospitality of Conway Farms Golf Club, Lake Forest, the community, the homeowners in Conway Farms, and everybody that's really pitched in to make it special for not only the players but the club and the club members. So that was kind of our overall goal. And it takes a long time to kind of start that process.
And do you think in terms of the club here itself really has to kind of shut down for its members for a week while the members then really pitch in and support this wonderful tournament?
Correct. We had over 300 volunteers, which probably 200 to 225 were members during different shifts of the week. And then on top of that, we also probably arranged maybe 70 or 80 different golf dates at other local clubs in the Chicagoland area for our members to go play when they weren't helping volunteer or coming out and watching the players. So, I mean, without the members and without the support of the board of governors of the club and the club itself, and certainly the staff here, we put in a lot of time to try to make it a great championship.
Well, Todd, everything looks beautiful here, and I can't wait to take it out back and see more of the action.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Don, welcome. Thanks for having us here today.
We're delighted to have you here.
Now, Don, you are with the Western Golf Association.
Correct. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and President, and have been for 21 years.
Fantastic.
Since 1988. So I'm delighted that we've brought this event back to Chicago for the first time in almost 40 years. And I'm even more delighted that we brought it to Lake Forest since I live in Lake Bluff.
I think that's excellent.
So,
Don, can you give me a little bit of history about this is the 107th year?
That's correct. This tournament was played in 1899 for the first time at the Glenview Club in Glenview, Illinois, which is still there.
Okay.
Same golf course. And we basically held it every year, interrupted only by a year or two in World War I and a year or two or maybe 3 in World War II. So this is the 107th edition of this tournament.
Fantastic. Now, how do you select the players for this type of event?
Well, this is an invitation-only tournament. We have 156 contestants, and the people who we invite, the invitees, if you will, are determined by their records. In other words, what have they done as an amateur, which would justify us giving them an invitation to this tournament. Tiger Woods a few years ago called this the Masters of Amateur Golf, and so we hope he's right.
What a pleasure to be out here at Conway Farms as well.
Well, this is a unique place. It's a wonderful, wonderful and difficult golf course. The membership is extremely, extremely supportive of this event, and so we're just delighted to be here in our opening tournament in Chicago.
Fantastic. Now, Don, in future years, is it going to stay locally here? Will it come back to Conway Farms? Do you know?
Ultimately, if the members want it, and I hope they will, it'll come back here again. But currently, we have a 7 year rotation, all in Chicago clubs, which starting with next year will be Skokie Country Club, and then in the next year is North Shore Country Club, and after that is Exmoor,
Okay.
and after that is Beverly and Olympia Fields and Rich Harvest Farms, where the Solheim Cup is being played this month.
Fantastic.
So we're going to keep it in the Chicago area, and we're delighted about that.
And then, Don, one more question for you. In terms of the Western Golf Association, am I correct to say that you work with the Evans Scholars Program?
Well, we not only work with the Evans Scholars Program, but we're sort of really one and the same.
Okay.
In other words, the two things that our association does is put on 3 national golf tournaments a year. This one, the Western Amateur, the Western Junior, which has been going on since 1914, which is for boys 16 to 19. And then obviously our marquee event is the BMW Championship on the PGA Tour, which will be coming up Labor Day week. All of the money from all of those tournaments all flows to the Evans Scholarship Program.
Great.
So that's one of the major sources of income. And we have 840 young men and women, 20% ladies now that are in the Evans Scholar
Great.
Program and in college. So,
And for those who are watching the show who may not be avid golfers but looking to learn more, can you give me a brief summary of what the Evans Scholars Program is and how one becomes a part of that?
well, the Evans Scholar Program started at Northwestern University in 1931 when Chick Evans, who the program is named after, had to withdraw from Northwestern because he couldn't afford it.
Okay.
Okay, and so he remained an amateur player, a premier amateur player, one of the best of all times, and he never turned professional, so he wanted to find a way to do something where kids could get through college when he couldn't.
Okay.
And so the Evans Scholarship today provides full tuition and housing.
Okay.
And we have 840 kids in 14 universities and 8,600 graduates of the program. The qualifications for the Evans Scholarship are A, you must have been a caddy for 2 years.
Okay.
You must be in the upper quarter of your high school class, and you must have financial need. So those
Right.
are the 3 criteria.
Well, it's just really wonderful to see that the group in your association puts on these events and really gives back into the community and supports young people and supports the success of amateur golf.
Everything we do goes to support the Caddy Scholarship Program. So
Any insight on who's going to win the tournament today?
don't know.
This week?
I thought Mr. Tway was on a roll here, but I guess he fell off the bus here.
Okay, well, we'll I think be interviewing some players a little bit later today. Don, it's been truly a pleasure
Thank you
meeting
very much,
and thank
yeah.
you so much for the history.
Thank you.
Mr. Stewart, it's a pleasure to have you here and
glad to be
interviewing with
here.
us. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Mr. Stewart, can you tell me a little bit about the history of Conway Farms Golf Club and how they came to be here?
Well, absolutely. This was the result of some very long-term vision by 3 families.
Okay.
One of them was my family, the Stewart family, and also the Hart family and the Smith family. And in the mid-50s, about 1956, there was a man named Oliver Burton who owned a mattress company. He was, we call him the mattress magnate, and he came and had a country farm out here. And when we moved here in the mid-50s, my father and our family moved here in mid-1954. Mr. Burton passed away, and his executors came to my father and said, would you be interested in acquiring this land? So we lived right over, overlooking the 11th hole.
Okay.
And we put the deal together, and Dad formed a partnership with the Smiths and the Harts. We acquired the land, and right from the start, the idea was to have to build a golf course one day with some first-class housing around it. That vision, they had that vision a long time ago. We actually had initial routings done by Robert Trent Jones Sr., who my uncle, Gus Hart,
Okay.
knew well, and he came out here and did a routing in the late 50s, early 60s. I remember seeing him at our house, and it was a totally different course than what we have today.
Okay.
The economy didn't make sense to do it, and we waited and pondered and planned, and meanwhile the land was farmed. So we had a tenant farmer, and we had wheat and corn.
I remember feeding the horses actually on Everett Road.
Absolutely, and
growing
as
up.
I grew up hunting, you know, and wandering around these fields. It was so I have a lot of memories. And then in the late 80s, we decided the time was right, and Gus Hart led the charge on finding Tom Fazio. So Gus Hart really gets the credit for the vision of the golf course. I think my father gets kind of the initial idea for acquiring the land, but Gus Hart gets the credit for finding Tom Fazio, persuading Tom to take the job, and coming out here and designing the course. And when Fazio came here to look at the property, he asked Gus, well, you know, if there was one golf course that you could, if you could imitate or be close to, which one was it? And he had said Shinnecock Hills in Long Island. And you know, Fazio said, I got someone who really understands about golf. Gus was a wonderful player. He was a member of the Royal and Ancient in St. Andrews, Scotland. He played golf all over the world, so he really understood the game. So he worked with Tom on the course. And then the partners, you know, my father and Gus Hart and Margaret Hart and Gordon Smith asked the next generation to sort of structure and create the club.
Neat.
And I was asked to lead that charge initially. So we put the club together from a tax and legal standpoint, and then we you know, coincident with the building of the course, concurrent with building the course, we got the club going. So we opened in 1991. I was the founding president. And we opened with 50 members. And we had a tremendous ceremony. Tom Fazio came, and it was a terrific experience.
Well, there's some wonderful pictures inside the clubhouse I'm sure we'll take a look at of the ribbon cutting, I believe, maybe with the breaking ground?
Yeah, that was the breaking ground for the clubhouse. Not the actual
course, but
the club. The club opened in 91. And we opened with our initial clubhouse being the pro shop. And the pro shop was actually a rental property that we'd had over the years, and we sort of remodeled it into the pro shop, and we had catered sandwiches and from Michael's down in Highland Park, and that's how we started. And then when we had more members than just 50, we built the clubhouse that you see here today.
And what year was this built?
This was opened in 1993. And so the pictures you see in there is really the groundbreaking for the clubhouse.
Now, Mr. Stewart, in terms of the Western amateur golf, I know that Conway Farms is a big supporter of that golf and encouraging players and working with the Evans Scholar program. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, that's one of the visions for the course, was that it be a first-class course, that it be a walking course, and that we support the traditions of amateur golf. So right from the start, we were hopeful that we would be a venue that would be attractive to amateur golf competition, and that we could give back to the game that way. And that's something that we have done really right from the get-go. In 1997, we were fortunate enough to secure the NCAA Division I Men's Championships, and they played at Conway Farms, and it was a spectacular event. And then the next year we had the U.S. Junior Amateur. We've had the Girls Western Junior Amateur here, so we've done it. We've had the Cannon Cup, so we've supported amateur golf ever since the club was founded. And to have the Western here is a signal honor. I mean, all of us who were involved in the early days of the club, it just sort of reaffirms that initial vision that we had for supporting the traditions of golf.
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, out here watching the volunteers and the players and the members and everybody just really supporting this wonderful event and these young golfers.
The members have been magnificent. I mean, they are everywhere. They are manning the parking lots. They're wandering around with with the leaderboards, and in each group going out, there's a member carrying the sign, telling how they're doing, and it's been an incredible effort. Housing the players, it's been great.
Well, I think we're going to interview a couple of those volunteers in a little bit to get their perspective as well and their support.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about having a walking club is that you support a caddy program. If you support a caddy program, you support Evans Scholars.
Right.
And so we have a number of caddies from Conway that have gone on to be, get full rides in the Evans Scholars program. That makes us very proud, again, to be part of that tradition of the game. Fazio said to us he didn't believe that we would end up being a walking course, that we'd keep to it.
Okay.
And he said that of all the courses I've built in the last 15 years, you're one of the very few that started out wanting to be a walking course and continue to be a walking course.
Well, I think that's really a tribute to the founding families and really in how their vision has been kept and will, I think, continue to keep for years to come.
Well, we were lucky, and as I was first president, and then Rob Lansing succeeded me representing the partners. He was Gus Hart's son-in-law. Peter Smith was the man who was also on the board with us, son of Gordon Smith, he found Chad Ball,
Okay,
our
yeah.
superintendent. So we've all contributed to, sort of set the groundwork, and then the members have carried on wonderfully after that.
Great. Well, Mr. Stewart, it's been such a pleasure talking
All
to
right,
you, and
thank
thank you
you
so much for this wonderful history.
All right, glad to help.
John, thank you so much for letting me interview you today.
Well, you're welcome. It's a lovely day to do it.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Now, John, tell me how you got involved here at both at Conway Farms and with this tournament.
Well, I'm an Evans Scholar alum, so I've been around golf since I was 12 years old. And after I joined the club 10 years ago, I knew that instantly that the club is really tied to support amateur golf. And a few years ago, along with a lot of other members, became aware of the fact that we had an opportunity to host the Western Amateur, which, as Tiger would say, it's the Masters of Amateur Golf. And so I think it's the greatest thing going. It absolutely fits in with our philosophy of what we're all about here at Conway and our support of amateur golf. So then obviously one thing led to another, and I volunteered to be part of the team that Jim O'Keen has orchestrated to staff every function conceivably related to executing the tournament.
And you are chairing the housing committee, is that
I'm
correct?
co-chairing the housing
Okay.
committee with a gentleman by the name of Scotty Wood.
Okay.
And we've had a number of members and others that live in the area that aren't members step up and do just an absolute marvelous job of opening up their homes and their hearts to some of these young contestants and virtually adopting them as family.
And John, where are some of these players from? I know obviously here in the United States, but they're coming from other countries.
Oh, there's some from France, there's some from Hawaii. Well, of course, Hawaii is not another country, but it's a long
Let's
way
hear
away.
it.
From South America, from Scotland, and it's really interesting to get their perspective. But the thing that's gratifying is they've appreciated the golf course itself, which I think is, well, I'm biased, it's quite special, but they really appreciate the whole experience. So it's very gratifying to see the members and the staff at Conway pull together as a true team. They've got their head and their heart in the effort, and that leads to good execution.
Absolutely.
So we're excited.
Well, just looking around here, watching all the volunteers from marshals and spotters and players, hospitality, and really everyone just pitching in. It is a real team effort here.
Based on a very sincere caring and respect for what the game is all about.
No yelling out. It's all. I think it's quieter here than on a normal day.
Oh, somebody may grumble here or there, but yes, you're absolutely right.
And John, tell me, do you have a favorite hole on this course?
Well, visually, first of all, the course itself, no two holes are alike. So there are no holes I don't like. I've had success and many failures on all of them, but visually, I love 17. To me, it's like standing at Cruden Bay or one of the courses in Scotland, and it's just, I don't know, it just does something for me, but there's a lot that are beautiful.
And it's really a test, too, of the preservation of the land here at this entire course and the area around.
Oh, sure. My wife and I, Mary, moved to Lake Forest 25 years ago. This was just a big farm, actually a compilation of 3 farms. And I remember the horses and all of that, and then we attended an event where from Bob Stewart's house we could see the early beginning of earth moving and whatnot. And I thought, gee, I wonder what this will become. And it was hard to visualize what a masterpiece would have been created with the support of Sandy Stewart and Rob Blancy and all the people involved, and of course Tom Fazio. So it's quite special.
It really is, and I want to thank you for all of your hard work at the tournament and spending some time with us today.
Oh, anytime. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here today. I just wanted to ask you, as you're following the players up the first tee, what's so special about this tournament, and why did you come out today?
Well, this is a tournament with a lot of history, and I've never seen the Western Open before. And in particular, Conway Farms is a great course. My grandfather was actually involved in the building of the course, so it's a big meaning to our family to have a special amateur tournament such as the Western be here this week.
Thank you, Stuart. We have had a few interviews mention your grandfather here as one of the founding visions of this entire course.
It's a special week for us to have it here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And another resident here, Mr. Bunn.
Thank you, Eileen. It's fun to be here. This is one of the nicest courses in the district and always fun to play. And I've had the joy of playing it a number of times, and it's fun to see how much better they play it than anything I can do.
It's amazing. Well, I won't keep you. Enjoy this
Thanks,
beautiful
Eileen.
day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, you have a very long history, obviously with your work at Golf Week, but following these type of championship tours. Tell me a little bit about how you got into this.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I've been at Golf Week for over 25 years, and used to do everything, a lot of the pro stuff, you know, all the majors, the Ryder Cups, the Solheim Cups, but now I pretty much do college and amateur golf.
Okay.
So for the last probably 10 years or so, that's what I've been strictly concentrating on, and just love it completely. I mean, I love to follow these amateurs and the college kids and the mid-ams, and it's just great, and to come to a beautiful place like this.
And how do you feel about the players that are out here today? Have you seen a lot of ups and downs? Do you have some favorites that you've been following?
Well, I don't know. I'm not supposed to like take favorites, but I've seen a lot of ups and downs just today alone, from the morning round, and some guys just playing great this morning and having disasters this afternoon. Some guys that had played well for 2 days and came out this morning and had disasters, and like I said, other guys who have played well and looks like they may get into the Sweet 16. So it's always exciting when that happens.
Well, I think that probably happens a lot at these tough courses too. I mean, the changing of the pins and
right, and this is a great golf course. I was here back in 1997 when they held the NCAA championship, and that was an exciting tournament because Pepperdine came out of nowhere and won that tournament, and Charles Warren, who's now on the PGA Tour, and he was the individual winner, and I'll tell you what, this place has grown a lot, this whole area, since then. I mean, I couldn't even believe it when I drove up here the other day. It's like, wow, am I in the same place?
Sure,
so,
yeah, the trees have really matured, and
well, just the whole area. I mean, the houses here, and all the hotels that are close by, and all the restaurants and stuff that are close by, and malls. I think the last time when I was here, we had to stay at a hotel. The closest one was 15 miles away.
Sure.
So it's been nice. It's been a great week so far.
Well, I think there's a little bit of tribute too to Conway Farms, to the golf course, and their preservation of the land too here in our community.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they've done a great job here. I've known Jeff Morey, well, since even before '97, because he was the coach at Northwestern, and it was great to see him, again. So it's been fun, and to see somebody like Scott Rowe, who went to school at Northwestern and playing, and it's been 12 years since I've seen him, and caught up with him the other day, and that was just a lot of fun catching up with what he's doing now and what he's gone through for the last 12 years. So.
Absolutely. Where did the love of golf start for you?
Oh wow, I guess it was back when I was the sports editor at a daily newspaper in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And I still don't play golf very well.
I was going to ask, do you play?
Yeah,
okay.
Not very much and not very well, but I've just always loved golf. And when I was working there, they had the PGA Tour at the Pensacola Open, which is in town right next to Fort Walton. And I would go over there, and I just loved the golfers. I mean, they were just so friendly, so accommodating, as opposed to like some other sports. And so I just fell in love with golf, and then the opportunity came up at Golf Week, and I took a chance, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Well, it's really been a pleasure too, I think, for you obviously out here. The weather's been perfect. I mean, the course conditions have been great, and the players, I mean, these scores are just incredible. Even on a bad day for some of them, it's still incredible out here.
Yeah, there's so many good players and that come along, and like I said, I've gotten to know so many over the years, from now I look on a PGA Tour, and just about everyone who's gone to college, I've watched them play in college, from Mickelson to Leonard to Tiger Woods to you name them, David Duval. I mean, I've watched them all come through, and so it's fun to see what they're doing now and how they do it. So it's great. I mean, I love what I do.
One last question: do you think we have the next Tiger out here?
I'm not
going to quote.
I'm not sure there is a next Tiger. To do what Tiger has done, but there's definitely a next, quote, superstar that's going to come out and eventually go on the PGA Tour and really make a name for himself. Because these guys are so good, these college kids.
Well, and I think too, just the Western Golf Association really giving them that opportunity to showcase and challenge them here at a course like this is wonderful.
And this is like one of the most grueling tournaments of any of the amateur tournaments, just because you have the 72 holes of stroke play, and then to win, you have to win 4 matches over a 2-day time. I mean,
it's a lot of golf.
That's grueling. I kind of feel right now for Nathan Smith. He's a mid-am, a 30-year-old, and his dad is caddying for him, and I just saw him make the turn, and I'm like, boy, I don't know if he's going to make 9 more holes.
How do these fathers do it?
I don't know. He was slow behind, but I'll tell you what, he's a trooper, and he was hanging in there. So I hope that Nathan makes the Sweet 16.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful meeting you.
Yes, wonderful to meet you, and got 2 more days after today, and I think it's going to be great.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Chad, pleasure meeting you here today.
You too, Eileen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, as superintendent of the golf course here, tell me, what does it take to put on a tournament, a championship like this?
Well, there's a lot of work that you do before the tournament really starts. A tournament like this, we heard that we may have this tournament, 2 years ago. We went to the tournament last year to see how it was set up, see what kind of people would come, what the players expect. And then we kind of start from there.
Okay.
So we kind of, everybody, all the staff here, the pro, the manager, myself will get together with the past host and see what they've done, what they expect, how they've run it. We've had the future people come here to talk to us to see what we're doing. Then probably at the beginning of this year, we start scheduling maintenance to try to get it to a peak where the golf course is good for this week, so that it's ready for play.
Now, weather plays a large factor of that. How has this summer's weather affected the maintenance in the course?
Everybody in my business wishes they had a tournament this year. This, as you know, has been one of the coolest, maybe wet early but dry lately kind of summers here. We had the coolest July, I think, in history in Chicago. Normally, first week of August, it's hot, it's humid, it's not a grass grower's kind of dream, but this year's been great.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
And the course is beautiful. Now, in terms of all of the, I mean, these players are playing 36 holes a day, and you've got a lot of action going on. How does that affect the course, the tee boxes, the greens? And what do you need to do following up at this tournament to get it back into the shape?
Well, we try to keep this golf course awful good all the time for the members. So the two things that we try to do for an event like this is get our rough grown up, get our greens faster.
Okay.
Those are the big two, the fairways, the tees, the bunkers. We'll do some work on the bunkers to try to firm them up and so they balls don't plug. But you want the green speeds up, and you'd like the rough up, and fortunately here a couple years ago we decided to irrigate our rough that we hadn't in the past, and this year with it being so dry the last 6-7 weeks, it's been a blessing. Otherwise our rough, we wouldn't have much rough. So.
Well, I'll tell you, this rough is pretty thick. I was watching some players before, and it's tough stuff.
It is tough stuff, and they're having fun if they do get in it. But the week's been great so far. We haven't had a lot of wind during the tournament, and these guys, they're awful good.
Yeah, they are.
They hit it a long ways, and they hit it straight. And when they do get in the rough, it's costing them, some distance. But they're doing good.
Well, in a couple other questions, Chad. One, I've heard that the pin placements have been pretty difficult. How are those chosen for the different rounds?
Western Golf Association actually sets the golf course up for their play.
Okay.
Now, about 3 weeks ago, the director of golf, myself, and the group from Western Golf went out from green to green, and we talked about with the speed that we're going to be, kind of where you can put them and where you can't put them, and difficult spots to get to, difficult spots to putt to. And then they will determine, they do a pin sheet every night, they go out and mark where they want them, and then we just put them in. But they've done a pretty good. They want the best players to win, and they've mixed it up pretty good. There's been easy ones every day, and there's been hard ones every day.
Sure.
It hasn't been easy every day on them, so they've done a good job.
And Chad, how did you get into golf industry, and do you play, and where did this passion for the course come for you?
Well, I got a job in I shouldn't even tell you when.
You don't have to.
On a golf course in Michigan, just kind of by a fluke, and kind of fell in love with the business and went and got a degree in agronomy so I could
Michigan State?
Michigan State University. Great turf program, great golf management program. And just kind of went from there. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and it's interesting.
Well, there's been a lot of compliments out here, Chad, so tribute to you and your staff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Jeff, thanks so much for meeting with me today. As Director of the Golf here at Conway Farms, tell me a little bit about how this tournament plays a role in here at the course and in the golf program.
Sure. Well, our club, part of our mission statement is supporting amateur golf, and Western Amateur, in its 107th year, is pretty much the masters of amateur golf. So, with that, I guess it fits right into everything that we do here at the club.
And how did you get into the industry? Where did your passion for golf begin?
Oh, I've been a golfer since I was 5, and all my life growing up. I went to college to play golf, and just kind of kept going. It just it suited me. I love teaching and playing the game, and just kind of kept going through my whole life.
And how long have you been here at Conway Farms?
Well, this is my 18th year altogether. I was 5 years as the teaching professional, and my 13th year as the director of golf.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, they're certainly lucky to have someone like you here.
Oh, you're nice to say that. I guess I kind of came with the property, yeah.
Well, Jeff, tell me a little bit too. These players that are here, can you tell me about their qualifications, how they got here, and what makes them special?
Well, it's an invitation only, I guess. It's through your amateur background, you're selected. And they really look for the top amateur players in the world. So they're looking for the top 156 players really throughout the world to play in this event. And there's a number of our best local players, but it's primarily, I'd say, college players. But there's some great mid-am players. We have a couple players in their 50s. So it's just true amateur golf at its best.
Can you identify a few of the locals that are playing in this tournament here?
Yeah, there's several. I wouldn't want to forget anybody, but Kyle Kopsick, who I think is finishing up really well today, who lives in Highland Park right now, but Brad Hopfinger, who lives in Lake Forest, Vince India from Deerfield. There's a number of guys in the area. Scott Rowe from Hinsdale. Who's still playing today, several Northwestern players, several players from the University of Illinois team. I think Zach Barlow is currently leading, so it's a great group of local players.
And can you give me a little bit of background on how they make the cuts here in this championship?
Sure. There's a 36-hole stroke play cut, which happened yesterday evening, and then we play 36 more holes of stroke play today, and throughout the day. And then we'll cut to 16 players we refer to as the Sweet 16 for match play. And we'll start match play tomorrow with a round of 16, then the round of 8, and then Saturday it'll be the semifinals and finals.
Great. Well, it certainly shows the quality of the golfers here and their skill level. It's just incredible watching them tee and putt.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's a great group of players, and I think when you see world-class players come to your club, it's really fun to go out and see how they use the golf course.
Do you think that we have maybe the next Phil Mickelson out here or Tiger Woods?
Well, if you look at the trophy, which I'm sure you have already, and you see those names, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Danny Lee, who won last year, who's sort of the current phenom coming on. It certainly make you believe that someone in this field here today is that next great player.
John, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as your position in the Western Golf Association, how did that begin, and where did you get your passion for golf?
Well, I've been involved in the Western Golf Association for about 25 years. I started out because I happened to be the representative of my club, which is Indian Hill Club in Winnetka.
Okay.
And I kind of get a passion for it, primarily because I love golf, but even more importantly, the thing that's nice about the Western Golf Association and the Evans Scholarship Foundation is that you can kind of match both. Is that you're taking care of caddies going to college, and at the same time, you get involved in a tournament like this, which is basically the #3 amateur tournament in the world, so it's kind of fun.
And keeping that in mind, this particular tournament, there's been a lot of buzz about the players and really their skill level and how incredible they are. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how they're chosen? And
well, they're chosen primarily from a group of ratings that come from around the world. So you have players that are from Australia, and we had our champion last year was from New Zealand. He went on to win the U.S. Amateur Championship. I think Tiger Woods has been quoted as saying that this is probably the Masters of amateur golf because, as you can well imagine, they've played 4 days or 3 days or 2 days of amount of golf. They play 72 holes of stroke play, and then they play another 72 holes of match play if they're going to win the tournament.
Now, in terms of this tournament versus other tournaments that the Western Golf Association runs, how does this play and roll with that? Where does this fit in the pieces?
Well, we run 3 golf tournaments. We run the Western Junior, which is the oldest junior tournament in the country. We run the Western Amateur, which is here. And we run the BMW Championship, which is part of the FedEx Cup. And the FedEx Cup is at the end of the season. And by the time that they arrive to our tournament, there's down to the top 70 players in the world. So when they get through with our tournament, they cut down to 35, and then they play for $10 million down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, John, tell me a little bit about these trophies here. And this is obviously the standing trophy, and
well, as I say, this trophy has been here for many, many years, and you know the interesting thing is if you look at the people that are listed on here, you have people like Phil Mickelson, you have all types of good, you know, Tiger Woods, you have all these people that are still in golf, but even before that, you have some people like Francis Ouimet and things like that are on there that are old-time names on here. And you know, I would say that the reason people are so interested in winning this trophy is because it's a grueling, you know, grueling golf tournament. I mean, there probably isn't any other golf tournament that we have in the country that you have to play the amount of stroke play and then go in and play almost double the same amount of match play. So it's really it's a fun thing to be involved in. We're happy to be having it back here in Chicago because we think that it really plays to our constituencies. It plays to the people that give to the Evans Scholarship Foundation. It's marvelous to be here at Conway Farms. I mean, Conway Farms is the best. I mean, they have treated us just exceptionally fine, and we're going to rotate it among 7 other clubs. But they've set a bar that's so high that probably the next clubs that basically have to do it are probably going to have to set the bar even higher. So by the time you get to the 7th club, it's probably going to be an over-the-top tournament.
That's fantastic.
That's right.
Well, John, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you.
Well, it's nice meeting you, and please say hello to my friends in Lake Forest.
I will. Thank you, John.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Mason, thank you so much for meeting with me today. How have you enjoyed the course so far, this tournament?
It's awesome. It's the first time I've been up here, so it was a pleasure playing this good facility like this. So.
And how did you get into golf?
My dad actually got me into golf when I was about 10 years old. I just kind of, my brother and my dad just started playing, and I just picked up a club and started swinging and kind of had a natural swing. So my dad kind of kept me in it and got me some lessons. So.
Great, encouraged you to continue. And you said you're a sophomore at University of Illinois?
Right.
And you play for the team there?
Yes, I do. So.
And how do you like college golf?
I like it. It's different than junior golf. It's another step, and there's a lot of good players, just like everybody here is good. So you got to really practice and try to get to the next level.
Mason, do you feel that when you're golfing you have a pretty strict routine in terms of practice, and then when you're out at a tournament like this to avoid just the distractions of the crowds? And
Right, yeah. You just you practice hard and you think about that while you're on the range with your your instructor, whoever that might be, and then once you get to a tournament and that first round starts, you just really try to forget everything else.
That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, have you found the course to be challenging?
Oh yeah. The first couple of days the greens were probably a little bit slower. I mean, not slow, but this last day the greens really firmed up and they were like really hard, and it's tough to get aggressive with putts and stuff. So. Was
the wind a factor at all so far this week?
Today it was a little bit windier, but nothing like the practice round. It was really windy, and I thought it was going to be, that was going to play a big factor, but it wasn't too bad. So.
Good. Well, Mason, thank you so much for the interview.
No problem. Thank
Great,
you.
And congratulations on being here. As
Thank
it
you.
is an invitation tournament, it surely is a tribute to your ability and your skill.
Right. Thank you.
And best of luck at your career at University of Illinois.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Penn, thanks so much for giving me a couple of minutes of your time to talk about the tournament today. So you're originally from Taiwan.
Yeah, from Taiwan.
And you're here playing college golf?
I'm still in high school, but I think I'm going to college.
Okay, you're still in high school. How old are you?
17.
You're 17?
I have 2 more years in high school.
Okay, and where do you go?
You mean college?
No, for high school.
Oh, for high school. I go to Pendleton High School, which is in Bradenton, Florida.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into golf?
Because my mom was a caddy. I mean, he works in a golf club, and that's how I know.
How you began.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously love golf, and you take it very seriously to be at a tournament like this. When did it all begin for you? What age?
Take it seriously? I think it's like maybe 10, maybe 11.
Sure.
When I was playing good. When I stopped playing good, so that's why taking seriously. Because I think I have a chance. I mean.
Absolutely. Now
to get better, yeah.
And you feel pretty special being invited to a tournament like this.
Yeah.
There's really a lot of great players here, including yourself.
Yeah.
Now, and you've obviously been playing well the last couple of days here as you're currently the leading scorer. Now, how hard is the course?
It's I think the hardest part is the green.
Okay.
Because the green it's really quick and it's really hilly, and also the wind is blowing it really strong, and so every shot you got to see really detailed and
a lot of details go into each shot, and it seems like you've had to stay really focused throughout today, especially before they've had to make the Sweet 16 cuts.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I know the golf superintendent will be happy to hear that the greens are difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult.
Because I know that they like to really keep the course up to high standards for their members here. Great. And you have future plans for golf, obviously? What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to college first, and then maybe finish college. I will try some like a PGA tour or nationwide tour.
Great.
Yeah, I will see.
Great. Well, good luck to you, Penn.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me interview you today.
Thanks.
John, how did you get into starting to play golf, and where did your passion for golf come from?
Well, I started playing golf because my dad has been a Titleist rep for 15 years.
Okay.
So he was the one to originally start me in golf. My passion for it came probably as a young kid. I mean, I played all kinds of sports, and then it was a funny story. My dad forgot to sign me up for baseball one year, quote unquote. So that was planned, by the way. And so that's where I started playing golf.
So another type of swing, but
exactly another type of swing, but.
Excellent. And so you're a college player.
Yes,
and
I am.
where do you play?
I play golf at Kent State in Ohio.
And what year are you there?
I'm going into my junior year.
Okay.
So.
And you've been playing on the team then for?
Yes, for 2 years. This will be my 3rd year.
Now, how do you feel about being invited to a tournament such as this?
Oh, I think these tournaments are awesome during the summer. I mean, especially the Western Amateur. It's arguably the best tournament in the world as far as amateurs go. Conway Farms has been a great venue. It's outstanding. I mean, everything about the course, it's manicured so well, and the hospitality and all the hosts here have been great. I'm staying with the Lowe's, and they've been excellent to me and Charlie Holland. So I think being invited to a tournament like this is definitely an honor, and we're happy to do it. All of us, every contestant in the field.
That's fantastic. Now, how do you feel about playing with all of these players from not only in the U.S., but from all over the world?
It's a good experience. I mean, not many guys get to experience things like playing with guys from Australia and Italy and Europe. There are different golf games over there, and obviously the different accents and the different mannerisms make a difference. But no, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a great experience for all of us.
And do you think playing in this tournament, I mean, you are pretty serious, obviously, about golf and
Absolutely.
wanting to take that into a profession. Do you see that as your future goal then?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I always keep my options open because you never know what could happen as far as injuries. So I'm going through the proper schooling and definitely taking school seriously. But yeah, I would like to definitely pursue a professional career after school is done.
Fantastic. Well, John, best of luck to you.
Thank you
and
very
congratulations
much.
for being here, and good luck the rest of the tournament.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Nice talking to you.
You too.